Rogue is on this bus to Chicago. She runs this kid. Has this really cute moment with the kid. The kid asks her, like, why is your hair so funny? And he's like, because she's like, so it can match my face. And she makes like a silly face with the kid, kind of showing that she's, you know, good with kids. And
she has them now. She got like 4, don't she?
I don't think those kids ain't hers. They just live with her. Don't do that.
I've definitely seen
with the kids,
some panels
with the kids, with
of that little blonde girl calling her mama. I don't know.
That little blonde girl got a mama.
It's Rogue.
No. Anyway. You know what? There's nothing wrong with having additional hairlines.
That's true. Some people are not full.
You know,
to have that. So I guess that's what isn't that bad. I do cut it off frequently, but you know, when I get my hair cut close like this, it like shows for a few days, like the shadow, and then it'll disappear again. It's fine. It's my life.
Still a baddie, period. Anyway, welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Another Relaunch. I am Anthony Masters, aka Taskmaster.
Oh, that's a good one. I am Random Hand Assassin number 64.
Love that. We love those people. Those are always the ones that make it when the pack of ninjas come. That kind of make it
away. I knew the fan to do a real quick job. Now we got to dip out. Like, ooh, y'all got cut. You know, it's funny. I was actually reading. Well, I'll talk about Psylocke Ninja, but I was reading the 2009 Psylocke miniseries again earlier this week. And like, it's so funny how they all jump in and they're fighting her, but they're not actually trying to kill her, but she's still like cutting them up and they're screaming and things like that. But the whole time she's thinking, she's like, you know, that shuriken would have missed even if I hadn't ducked. Something's not right. And it's like, dang, imagine this being your last day at work.
Like, dang.
Like, oh, that was terrible.
That would be very upsetting, especially it could have been close to bonus time. And now you're not getting nothing because you're dead.
Maybe another extra 100 years via the beast in the pit or something, because you know them ninjas don't die.
Something.
But
there's always some kind of magic mojo, mumbo jumbo.
And it works. And we love it. And we love it. But how are you?
How are you?
Oh,
okay. Start with me. I'm good. I am fantastic. For the people out there who are watching, you can see that I'm not normally in LA. I am currently back in Chicago for the Chirac, visiting family, some friends. I will be at C2E2 if anyone else will be there. This will be out afterwards. So if I saw you there, hey.
I'm going to dress up. People dress up for C2E2.
Yes. And I am going to, one is a new look, never done before.
Okay.
The second one I've done before, and I'm doing it with a friend. Shout out to my friend Alexander Paplis.
Okay.
I'm be going with him as being some X-Men on Sunday.
And that should be good.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to do an Iceman Bishop team up.
And that's a lot of fun. You know, they should actually be a lot closer. I always talk about it. Even though when I do go back and read some 90s comics, they are often paired up together a lot. And like Bishop goes on bitches with him in one of his miniseries too.
Yeah, they should be closer friends. But, you know, the both of them just needs to be used more.
Bishop does that in Saturday. I'm in June. Pre-order.
Yes, I'll be there for sure. And Saturday, I am going to do Ahsoka from Star Wars.
I don't know what that is.
Skywalker. That's okay. The people out there know it's insane. They gotta wear this like thing because she's a creature.
Oh wait, is she the orange girl and she's got like white and blue hair and like it's like
I gotta figure out how to draw that on my face. Yes.
Yeah, she's gonna look really good. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. My friend he gives Anakin. So this will be a lot.
And I know who Anakin is. I saw the prequels.
Okay.
I watched
personally.
Yeah, like in the theater.
I think those are my favorites. I love those.
I don't really have an opinion as far as that, but I will say Queen Princess Amidala whichever one she was.
Queen.
Yeah, Queen, everything. She was the reason I thought the Star Wars was going to be a lot better than it was. And I was like, oh, look at her. She came out in that red outfit. It was out. That kind of was like, when you're a young gay and you have those little moments where it's like, like this is, I honestly think seeing her on the big screen was one of my moments because I distinctly remember like that pale makeup, that little the red dot on the lip, the dress, the hair, the gold. I was like gagged. I was like, yeah, this is who we need to be watching.
That's funny. I had a similar thing around that time too, even though it was much later, I think, when this came out. But do you remember The Bodyguard? Yes. And there was a scene in The Bodyguard where Rachel Marin, Whitney Houston's character, was performing
Queen of the Night.
Queen of the Night. Yes. And I really wanted that bustier. That like silver
see that for you, yeah.
And that like beaded skirt. I wanted it so bad. And I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. Fun fact, that was my little brother. He is not gay, but like growing up, that was one of his favorite music videos to watch. Like my mom had this Whitney Houston DVD with a bunch of videos on it. And he would like go and watch that one all the time. It was so cute. Oh, I should text him and remind him of that. You like remember you used to love Whitney?
Shout out to Whitney Queen. Anyway, how are you?
I'm good. I'm a little sore. I've been on my Pilates journey. I put a little too much dip on my chip this week and I went 2 days in a row. Huge mistake. I am not there yet. I am not ready for that. And I will not be doing it again. But other than that, it's cool. DC is still going through its crazy weather. So it was like 50s for 3 days. And then randomly it was 80 degrees one day. But this was also the day that the cherry blossoms went full bloom. So that was really great. People could go out and like see their pictures. Yeah. And then the next day it immediately dropped to like 20 degrees and rain all day. So I think a lot of the cherry blossoms actually are now already gone. But shout out to that one day. I did get some new pictures. I did go outside. I've been treating every like 80-degree day that randomly comes like the first day of summer. So it's like amazing.
When you have that kind of like crazy weather, you got no choice. You got to take advantage of it.
It's like, ooh, the sunlight. It's feeling like drinks today. You start texting the friends like, we're going to happy hour. What's happening? What are we doing? Everybody's down. And it'd be like a random Wednesday or Tuesday. It's like, okay.
It'd be like that.
We got to do it. That's what being an adult is about, actually.
Hello. Doing the things you always wanted to do
whenever you want.
All right, let's go ahead and get into these updates of the week. Not too much going on, but recently there was announced that Chris Claremont and artist Robert Gill will be doing a new Gambit miniseries called Gambit Wanted. And it will be the Gambit's final adventure right before he joined the X-Men. Now, are you excited for the return of Claremont on the X-Men?
I'm sorry. I did not mean to laugh like that. Oh, wow. I love Chris Claremont,
legend.
I don't think I necessarily need him to like write any more comics, but he's not writing my favorite right now. He's writing Gambit. And this is like the second Gambit flashback mini that he's written now, isn't it? But
it is, yes.
Marvel is on like a big Rogue and Gambit push right now. So I guess that also makes sense.
I feel like this isn't even a Rogue and Gambit thing. This feels very much more of a, nostalgia thing.
Well, yeah.
Here's an old mini.
Well, yes. I do feel like that has been happening a lot lately too, obviously. But like, I feel like this just feels in line with the nostalgia mini stuff and Rogue and Gambit stuff. So it just feels a little right on time. But I don't know. Do people still like Gambit by himself? I know people like him with Rogue, but do they want to read by himself?
I think there is a fairly large group of fans out there who do like Gambit by himself. Usually they want him to like break up with Rogue or just be not tied to Rogue and be like, a wife guy all the time. I think if they actually spent the time in Cape Gambits and stuff for him to look good as a solo artist, as a solo character. He would win over more people as a solo Marvel character.
You like Gambit though, don't you?
Yeah, I don't mind Gambit.
You like Rogue more.
For sure.
Do you like that relationship?
Yes.
Do you like where it is today?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I would say that because, and we'll definitely be talking about this later. I say that because I really like the way that it's currently being written in the Rogue solo series.
Okay.
Meaning we are together, we're married, I love you, you love me. I do not need to be having you standing next to me the entire time. I can do this by myself. Like you can go do your thing and I can do mine. And I like when their relationship is written that way. To be honest, it's kind of the first time it's been written that way. So I've really been like,
I think that's fair. I think also I question, you go do your thing, I go do my thing, but like, what is Gambit's thing?
He should be dealing with the Thieves Guild, and the thieves and assassins should be the beefing and stuff like that. But they never really let him do that. Specifically, I know for a fact it was because editorial. I think it was somebody out there fact checked me, but I think it was Jordan White who said that he did not like the Thieves Guild. Like he didn't like Gambit and the Thieves Guild. So he was like, I'm just never going to do it. So
I don't mind the Thieves Guild, but I think like, for me, at least with Gambit, the Thieves Guild feels like something that's like an arc. Like we can do 3 to 5 issues on it. And then, I mean, I guess if you do more with it, you would have to kind of like elevate or change the Thieves Guild from more than what it just is. But I also don't know what that would be for Gambit.
I think it gives arc because it gives, like they aren't putting a lot of emphasis on what the actual Thieves Guild does.
Yeah.
Like and how it impacts like the Marvel universe, the way that the Hand does or any of those kinds of things. They need to further integrate the Thieves Guild like out there. I believe, I don't know if Black Cat has been involved and like, stuff like that where you start to actually see it within the Marvel universe and
like respect them as an actual organization.
Yeah. And not just something that is updated anytime Gambit is on page and it's like, oh yeah, I'm the Prince of the Thieves Guild. Oh yeah.
And it's like,
who is that? What do they do? Like, what are you doing?
Y'all only in New Orleans? Like, okay.
Like, what's going on?
Like,
yeah. I'm not sure if I will really be tapping into this solo miniseries. Again, if this were probably maybe Gambit in the future, in the present. Yeah, I think I'd be a lot more maybe interested in it because I would hope that they will be doing what we just talked about with the Thieves Guild. But
I do wonder,
these past minis just don't really always.
So that's what I was just about to say, because I do wonder if some of these past minis, because I feel like all of the past minis that they're doing are adding some new type of like retroactive history in it. Like with Betsy, you have her with Elektra. With this Gambit one, I saw that they're going to have him fighting Daredevil. I wonder if they're planting seeds for future stories. Like if they're going to do something again where Gambit and Daredevil, I mean, not Gambit and Daredevil, Gambit and Bullseye are coming to blows in the present, or if they're going to be involved in an event somewhere soon. I know Tim Seeley did like an X-Men Monday. He's writing Inglorious X-Force as well. And somebody like asked him about Betsy in it. And he was saying, while he does really like the roster as is, he wouldn't mind like having Betsy guest star down the line because he likes Psylocke and like they might need to fight ninjas at some point. Like are the Hand and Elektra going to show up in Inglorious X-Force? Are these the type of seeds that are being planted, or are they just like random nostalgia bits? I would hope the former, but
I hope the former too. This sounds like the best thing. If you can have an old mini and kind of fill it with something that you could bring to the present, that's much better than us just rereading the story that we already know happened.
Yeah. So we'll see. The Gambit, I probably.
How do you feel about Gambit?
I wouldn't say
right. I don't dislike.
Yeah, like I don't dislike Gambit, but also like I think he's one. I think what were you talking about? Potential Man.
Yeah,
that's who Gambit is to me. Like, I feel like I feel like obviously like Gambit is one of those characters that was created to be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like sleek, he was suave, he used to flirt with the girls, he used to smoke his cigarettes, he had these cool energy powers, he had the bow staff, he was doing all this stuff. And it was like cool. And you did that kind of for a long time, played the whole like, can you trust him? Can you not trust him? Him and Rogue, will they, won't they? They get married. He's kind of turned into like the doting husband. Now it feels like they're trying to like bring back some of his zest, but it feels like a lot of that stuff that he did from the 90s obviously wouldn't work the same way as it would today. And then they don't give him anything else to do. So it's just like, I feel like I could, like, if we actually did something, I think about stories that Gambit's in and that I've read with him, which are a lot because he's been in a lot of books that I've read and like a part of teams that I really like. And it's like, he's never necessarily bad in them, but it's just like, he's also just kind of there.
Yeah. I do think that I would like to see, and I'll obviously talk about this later, I'd like to see more of this solo Rogue. And I'd like to see more of Gambit on the X-Men. And like, I want to see how his relationships are with the rest of the X-Men, you know, and not just how his relationship is with Rogue and those ties to the X-Men. You know what I mean? Like, I would prefer
where it's like Rogue's so about like, and like Gambit comes along. You kind of, I get that too. And like, and that's another thing about Gambit. Like, I think about the relationships that he does have, like his relationships with Storm, his relationships with Bishop, with Laura, Wolverine. Like, he has good connections with a lot of people, but it always just kind of feels like he's floating. I always talk about stuff in Housewives terms. If there's a main cat, he is the friend of the show. Like, he does not hold a beach, but he is the friend. So you just kind of see him floating around. He's there around. He doesn't really get a lot of screen time, like about him specifically, but you know stuff about him, but you mostly know him through his relationships with other people.
A friend of the show.
Yes.
Well, I think Gambit needs to get his X back, I guess. He's a reason to get his X back.
I don't know. You know, they got the outliers, all the kids popping up. He might...
That's really too many kids.
It might be time. Hang it up.
Too many kids. All right. The last bit of news that we have going on is one that is very exciting to me because Wonder Man was just announced to be getting a season 2. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason this is exciting because I can only think of Daredevil. Right? Is Daredevil the only show that got another season?
Jessica Jones?
Jessica Jones. Oh, well, the Netflix shows all got extra.
You're specifically talking about Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's the only one.
Oh, and Daredevil, Daredevil's just the only one.
But I don't even know. We'll actually talk about that later.
I mean, it kind of counts. Because this is technically their second season, even though, for those out there who don't know this about like the entertainment industry, they could have easily just given this as a 4th season to the show. But when you rename a show and just call it Daredevil Born Again, you get to renegotiate their contracts and not pay them more. So that's why they did not have this just be, season 4 and 5 of the Netflix series. Mm-hmm. A little bit of information for y'all out there. Anyway, back to my man Simon. I am very excited for this. I really, really hope that what I talked about on the finale, when we discussed the finale of the season 1, happens, which is they use his season 2 to obviously explore more of Simon, but Simon as he's a celebrity now. Like he is Wonder Man now, and I like to see him similar to his journey in the comics, where he is kind of feeling himself because he is feeling himself as Wonder Man, but then he also grows into realizing he wants to be more of a superhero too, and like become Wonder Man. I'd like for them to do that. If they could have him in Doomsday or Secret Wars, where he could fully show his powers and everything with a movie budget, that would be great. So he can go out there, blast some stuff with the ionic energy, fly and punch something. And then we come back to the Disney Plus budget where he can just
which is weirdly still is high, but nowhere near. I mean, I guess the movies aren't really that great either, so it doesn't really matter.
Where's money going?
Feige's pocket. Who said y'all don't need all this? You get back.
He got more hats to buy.
He said, "What are y'all doing?" He said, "You're showing someone's powers. Cut it down."
And take that scene right on out.
They said, "You need this for the costume budget. We'll show it in the final episode. It's okay."
And that's all you'll get. But yeah, let us know if you guys are excited for Wonder Man season 2. Do you expect them to do more with him as a superhero or more of his acting stuff?
Honestly, still acting. Just again,
More acting.
Disney Plus, lower scale. I feel like, well, I don't even know if we'll do acting. I feel like you said, we might see a couple of shots of him, like now kind of being in that celebrity mode. We'll know he has done some projects, I'm sure. But I don't feel like we'll see him as much like going on auditions and like trying to get the set and stuff. If we do, I think it'll be more in terms of him obviously continuing to try to hide that he has superpowers from everybody.
Well, we all know that before he even gets to his season 2, Spider-Man Brand New Day will be out. And I think the whole department of damage control and them not liking superpower people is going to be even further like pushed. So I wonder if that's actually going to come to a head in that movie where, you know, some kind of legislation is passed or
Civil War.
Exactly. You know,
Leading to Civil War too.
Could you imagine?
That's what they need to do. Actually, no, they don't need to do that. I wouldn't put Brie Larson through that. I actually like her.
Yeah,
it's not her fault she got that movie.
Yeah. I'm also really ready to just know who Sadie Sink is so we could just move on.
I saw yet another confirmation that she was Jean Grey.
I genuinely, at this point, she probably is. But I just want to know now, like,
you know, if she is,
or maybe, or maybe just keep it a surprise. Maybe just keep it a surprise. Surprise me in the show.
A surprise. I think we have lost the element of surprise. I don't know if you watched the Super Mario movies, but they just announced that Star Fox is going to be in the next one that comes out.
That's cool.
It's extremely cool, but it's like,
we going Super Smash?
Hey now.
Oh,
I saw some people talking. They were like, we're going to be in the Super Mario movie. There's going to be a post-credits scene with like just a star going across, and all you hear is "Hi," and it's like, it's like, oh, it's coming. But it's like, I think that's something, again, like the movie comes out in like a week or two or something like that. Like that is something you could have just kept to yourself and let us been in the theater and been like shocked and surprised and like really didn't. Like I was a Star Fox fan growing up, so like I gagged.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I had all the games. Like that was my man. Like I used to love playing with him and Falco. Hippie, the hair, I didn't really care for him, his attitude, and then the frog, I didn't like her. Anytime, like, always dying. Like, it was just not that girl. But, like, Falco and Fox, kings. And then when I would play Smash, like, Fox was always getting picked.
Yeah. In Smash, I was a wolf.
It's the way he said it, like...
Icarus? I think I couldn't remember if that was his name. I feel like it was like cooler than that. But it was Wolf. And Icarus and Pokemon Trainer.
Other name. And that was my other main. Wasn't messing with me with that.
Oh, yeah.
The king. Psychics. It's just something about it.
That's what I was going to say. They doesn't say TK, like he's got psychic power. Of course. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and take a break and then we'll come right back.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another week of fantastic comics. It was kind of a stacked week this week. I feel like...
you?
Well...
Okay.
Yeah.
I looked at these lists of what was out and I was like, dang.
It was like...
Keenan's favorite characters.
It was like a good week. And you know what else? even like for some of the stuff that I don't read, I was like, I feel like these are kind of well-received books that are out, you know? Although I did see stuff about like the Ultimate line that's coming out. I thought that universe was ending.
It's been ending for like 8 months.
Like, oh my gosh.
It's been ending for a while.
Like, that's crazy, but whatever. Let's talk about some hot things that happened this week. Just a couple of quick shout outs for some of my favorite books. You know, we had Wiccan Witches Road #4 come out. You know, you woke it up for me the last time I talked about this book to you, and you were like, oh, you know, Wiccan doesn't have his powers. And it was like, oh, you must really be enjoying it, because I really realized on this issue that he has not been using his powers at all this entire book. And I am having the absolute time of my life. It's so good. He has a sword though, and he has been very much using that. He's been whacking people and fighting, and
this man's sword.
Yes. His man's a puppet, so he can't really do anything right now, which is metaphor. But that was good. You know, Storm and Wanda showed up, so I think people should check that out. Deadly Hands of Kunlun #2 also came out this week. Iron Fist content, White Fox content. She just came out in Rivals. If you're a Rivals player and you're looking to read White Fox, go pick up this book. It's right there. The doll's there. It's good. Absolute Wonder Woman 18 came out. You know, I did not actually read it. I know it came out this week. I did start my journey with it.
Okay.
I added it to my list in the DC Infinite app. And I did not get to read it that weekend that I said I was going to get to read it. But I'll probably actually do it this weekend because, again, the weather's terrible and it's cold and I won't be outside. Although that wouldn't really stop me from going outside any other day. But it won't probably be whatever. Generation X23 #2 also came out this week. You know, I think you asked me last week if I liked Laura. And I was like, not really. But then I slept on it. And I've been thinking about it. And then I read this. And I was like, maybe I do. Maybe she's
cool.
She's reading. That means something to me, I guess. And that was great. And before I get into my big book of the week, I know you finally finished DCKO. And there was Rogue you want to talk about. So let's go ahead and hear it.
So I saw some chitter chatter about this finale on Twitter before. If anybody out there knows, my Twitter got like hacked. I don't have it no more. Whatever. Whatever. I'm doing. I guess I'm done with Twitter. But
just make a new one. This is why you're supposed to have it back.
I'm not doing all of that. No. I think this was a sign. No. Check me. I'll be on the AR Twitter if you need me, but like my personal one.
Look how many is with.
As far as this book goes, I saw a lot of chitter chatter before when this book was coming out on Twitter that people weren't really liking the finale. And I don't know why not. I liked it. So like, again, this to me really felt like a very fun, big superhero book. Now, did this issue glaze Superman a lot? Yes. Yes, a whole lot. But at the end of the day, like, I completely understand the points of like showing how great Superman is as a superhero and inspirational he is and all that like stuff.
And then when you also think about, remember that Superman basically set the tone for all of the DC Next Level books that are coming out in this line of heroes. There's no black people.
No, he is from Kansas. You know? And let him tell it. He'll tell you from Kansas before he tells you Krypton.
You love it. Proud.
Okay. Anyway, this finale opens with Lex saying how he won. We saw in the last issue that Lex took his shot, took Superman out. Superman turned back into a piece on the board. Lex won. Now Lex becomes the King Omega, and him and Darkseid are going to be fighting. Now we get a flashback of when, I guess it isn't really a flashback, but it's kind of the answer to like the first issue. Superman has been hearing this voice in his head who tells him like, you know, it's Clark, you need to stop. And like Superman is like, I know you're here and I know what this is, like, show yourself. Turns out it's Doomsday. Now, I'm behind. I did not read Doomsday Clock. I did not know Doomsday became some kind of like spirit, specter thing. And like,
you know what's funny about Doomsday Clock is I was about to say, did that actually finish? Because you know
when it was coming out, it took like a year for the fun.
It took like 3 years to come out.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous. But yes, go ahead, continue. Sorry.
So Superman, he says like he's reliving from the first issue where we see Doomsday like basically destroying everything across every universe at the same time. And he's like, you know, Doomsday, I know you're here. Doomsday explains that he feels like his goal was to always be, or his role was always to be Superman's destroyer. But now he feels like he is meant to save Superman so that he can destroy Darkseid. And basically, I'm not going to hold y'all. This was a very random MacGuffin way to make Superman the final character who's going to fight and show how good of a character and person he is. Because there wasn't any kind of like hint that Doomsday was going to be involved in this specifically, like as this specter spirit kind of thing. He basically tells Superman that, you know, I was working with a timekeeper. I have all this like stored up Omega energy as well as like Alpha energy. I'm gonna give it all to you so that you could become like a King Omega. You know, there's anybody that's a King Omega is you, and Kal-El, you're the greatest of everybody. So he gives him all this energy. And
mind you, Dr. Light is still nowhere to be found. Like, I'm pretty sure everything that he's about to do, she got the power to do in that event. But go ahead.
I don't know if she's this powerful, but I do like this Dr. Light interest you've been taking. I do. You know, I like the Light girl, so I do appreciate that. Give some Dr. Light her respect. But we do come back and see that like Superman's piece, you know, it starts to glow again, and then he breaks free because now he's got all the King Omega energy. He's the new King Omega, and it shows how basically with all of this energy, they're able to pretty much do anything, reach back across time and space and all these different types of things. Superman goes back to the Big Bang and like tries to include himself in it and make things better. He shows this timeline of where, you know, he is a part of everything that like making everything better. Him and Darkseid are like having this crazy fight. I did think it really looked really cool. His little Superman's glowing cape was pretty cool. Superman has these flashes of his like utopian timeline, basically, that he kind of created. Now he's using that as like kind of to push himself. They start fighting across universes and timelines. And while they're doing that, all the different panels are like, one of them was definitely the New 52. Another one was, you see the Justice League of Justice Society of America being formed. You see, what's that version of Galactus? The Anti-Monitor. You see him in another panel. And then Superman like goes back to the Big Bang itself and then absorbs all that. It's a big cosmic energy battle. They're punching each other and everything. Instead of Superman basically winning and creating his own timeline and making everything perfect, he's hearing this voice in his head, which is the heart of Apocalypse, and that he had absorbed, and reaches inside his chest, pulls it out, and like destroys it, and says that he quits. And he's like, I'm not playing this game anymore. And he's like, the heart's like, no, you can't quit. That's not what people do. He's like, no, I am. Like, I'm not playing anymore. Lois was right. I do play games. I prefer to play games where everybody wins. And then he tagged in everybody, brought everybody back to life. Everyone's fighting Darkseid. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool page. I also think this like Omega crown energy thing on his head, it looks kind of cool.
The design was high. The whole Omega white Superman look, you know, it's a white suit. It's always going to get me.
It looked cool. And I think I've learned that sometimes I do like a energy halo, not a halo, but like a, I don't know, it's a crown. Yeah, those things kind of look kind of cool. And then we see
it's a great effect.
It's cool. then we see this page of like how Superman is basically telling everybody like he's got one last thing to do before he comes back to everybody, and everybody else can like go back to what they were doing. We see this big page, which was obviously going to be what's coming next, because we see these flashes like in the corner. You see the Titans and how they were going to basically have a new team. Where you see all these different kind of words to describe all the people, like Zatanna's next to Mysterious, and how the Trigon is terrifying, or that Batwoman is brave, and how he's very excited that all of them won. And I like the epilogue at the end where we see that like what's the next Superman Prime was going to be coming back. I know that he has now, but at the end of this, we see that was what was going to be coming back next. Cyborg had this really cool thing where he's like looking at his arm and he goes, activate Heart of Cyborg protocol, and then it responds to him. It says, "Greetings, Victor Stone," which I think is awesome. That like he has his own Heart of Cyborg, which makes sense because he just connected to like Apocalypse and all that apocalyptic tech and everything.
I always say that they need to do like a Cyborg in the New Gods book.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. He should probably be more connected to the New Gods.
Definitely.
Then we get a scene at the end where Darkseid says, he hasn't won the battle or the war, my absolute creations. And we see all of his absolute versions that people have been really buying up the books for. So shout out to them. Yeah. He says, all my absolute creations are still here. They are my weapons. And then he says, there will be crisis of absolute proportions. So, in true DC fashion, I assume a crisis is coming eventually. Always. Probably something with the absolute universe. But again,
absolute crisis.
Like it's coming. No. But I like the event. I like this issue. Did it glaze Superman a lot? Absolutely. Did it kind of wrap up in a way that was very convenient for Superman to give his whole speech about everybody being great and everything? Yes. Did I have a good time? Yeah. Superheroes can be exciting and uplifting too. And let Superman do that.
Okay.
And every issue before this, I was having a great time all the tournament. Like, it was great. These types of events to me, not so much at DC, but Marvel for sure. These types of events seem to be the only time where characters really use their powers. And this event, like every panel, people were using their powers and fighting each other and doing some cool stuff. Zatanna casting spells and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. This felt like something that could easily be turned into a video game, and probably a better ongoing video game series than Injustice was, because at some point it's like, okay, you just got a whole nother universe with this Injustice.
Yeah, that's from the beginning. I know. So with the video game, you see it. I guess you would be
literally the exact same thing as a video game.
You like Royal Rumble style, or
yeah? No, I would prefer it to be the 1v1 Mortal Kombat style. They could do a Royal Rumble thing. Honestly, with the way that games are going now, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they did with DC KO instead of making it a 1v1 fighting thing like a Mortal Kombat or a Street Fighter. They go the more Rumble,
Marvel Rivals
kind of route, which is very popular these days. Either way, I would play it.
Okay. I would probably
say nothing as master. I'm whooping everybody's ass as Apollo, Green Lantern, Static, Starfire, my squad.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all can't take it.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the event.
I had a great time.
I'm glad that it was satisfying you to the end, and that you were able to overlook the issue.
I had a fantastic time. Would I read it again? Probably more so the first 4 issues more than the 5th one. Because I did have a good time with the fights, but I wouldn't mind this having some kind of follow-up. Let's have them again. Let's do an annual Mortal Kombat style fight.
Superman does disappear at the end, so we got to find out where he goes, and like people are going to look for him.
It seems like a lot of minis were set up. There was a panel about Booster Gold saying, "Oh, you know, Superman saved us. I got to go save him." I'm not sure if a Booster Gold mini was going to come out about him trying to go find Superman or something. But yeah, who knows? I don't know what Superman is doing right now. I should check out what his book's going on.
He's got the Superman Prime book.
Oh, right, because he's back now, right?
Yeah. And we do not support Superman Prime. Remember when he attacked the Titans and killed Panther? He's still on the list.
Right.
He killed a lot of Titans. He risked his arms.
Oh, yeah. Did he? Yeah. Did he kill Superboy? Was he the one that killed Superboy?
No. Who? I don't remember who killed
Alien. Oh.
like Connor Superboy or Superboy Superman Prime? No one killed Connor. No. I'm trying to think back. Think of the runs. No, they're not.
Was the Wonder Girl older than him because he died? I make that up.
Oh, something did happen to him, but he had already had the like Lex stuff happen to him before.
Yeah, that stuff had already happened. Yeah,
and then I don't.
Either way,
remember what happened.
Somebody let us know. I forgot. I don't remember.
She about to look it up right.
I don't know how he came back to life.
I do remember there was that one issue with him and Nightwing. I'm looking at it right now. I'm going to that. Go ahead, but keep talking because you got to talk about Rogue. Stop talking about her.
Yeah, let me go ahead and talk about Rogue. So everybody knows I read the first issue last week, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about 2 and 3 this week. Now, 2 was written by Erica Schultz, and the art was by Luigi Zagaria. This issue was hot. Now, the issue opens up with Rogue back in her Brotherhood days, and we've already learned that, Rogue has been having these crazy memories, these flashbacks of her era where she's back in her Brotherhood days, but something's going on with Project Pegasus. She can't remember anything about Project Pegasus at that time. And we learn, because in the last issue, she came to Mystique to figure all this stuff out. We learned that Mystique, and this is what I meant earlier about a mini series pulling from the past, but being able to use it in the present. We learned that if anyone knows, when Rogue took Ms. Marvel's Carol Danvers' powers, the reason that she did that was because Mystique needed muscle to break the Brotherhood that got arrested out of jail. And that was Blah, Pyro. I think Destiny's with them too. Yeah, I think Destiny's with them too. But either way, there were some Brotherhood members that were in jail. Mystique needed Rogue to break them out of jail since she wanted her to do it with Ms. Marvel's powers. Now, this issue is telling us that before they did that, she was actually going to use this this device from Project Pegasus. And Project Pegasus is this like energy research place. There was this like energy modulator that she was trying to steal from this place that was going to turn off all the energy basically in like a certain radius so that they could just break into the prison and get the Brotherhood out. Well, Mystique and Rogue are about to do their thing. They steal the modulator, and then all of a sudden Sabretooth and Constrictor show up, and they have an old friendship from like back in the day. Even back in the day in the comics. And I think this was even back when I think Sabretooth debuted as an Iron Fist villain. So I want to say this was something like even back then. And Rogue is getting upset because she's like, I feel like this lady's lying to me. She's not telling me all the things that I know. Like I feel like you're not trusting me with the information. She gets upset. She's like, I just wanted you to be honest with me. Forget it. She flies off. The funny part about this was Destiny saying, Rogue is eventually going to remember everything. Like, why don't you just tell her the truth now? And Mystique is like, is this another one of your prophecies? And Destiny's like, no, that's just common sense. Right. And I thought that was a good gag. Rogue is flying. She has a phone call with Gambit where she's telling him, just giving him a catch up on what's going on. He's asking her if she's all right. During this flight, her powers start to change where she has Mystique's powers. And she's like, this doesn't make sense. I didn't even touch Mystique while I was with her, but like I have her powers and I can't keep my form because she keeps like transforming into all these different people. She falls out of the sky because she loses her flight. She changes into Blob, lands in this big like warehouse with all these guns and ammunitions, and it turns out these are like some anti-mutant people. So she's like, obviously I'm gonna handle this while I'm here, except no powers and no super strength. She gets out of this hole that she was in after she crowned to the ground, and she like says, some sassy rogue remark like, "Yo, y'all not ready. Y'all should leave these mutants alone." Like, when she jumps up, but then comes right back down to the ground because she can't fly. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I don't have my flight." She tries to run away. Luckily enough, she transforms into Emma Frost. A little bit of her diamond form shows up before she got hit by a bullet. Then we see Rogue like use her absorption abilities really and take out everybody in the warehouse, which I think was pretty cool. And she uses again her absorption abilities to get some information from people. And she's again still trying to figure out who this like John Stelton guy is, who also was at Project Pegasus. Into the issue, John Stelton is like, "I'm gonna get this girl who did this." And when you see his face, and he's got this scar across his face, like someone carved a smile into his face. He also is missing both of his legs.
Oh, okay.
So one would think someone with some kind of sharp claw or something like that would be the one doing that.
Sabretooth.
Right. He said it was Rogue.
Oh.
So
Okay.
he wants his revenge against Rogue. Now we get to issue 3. This one was also a fantastic issue, still written by Erica Schultz, and the artist is Luigi Zagaria. Now Rogue can't fly, so she's like, okay, the only thing that's in my memories that I keep coming back right now that I haven't like checked off this list is Sabretooth. He's dead. Nothing I can do there. Constrictor also showed up with Sabretooth. I got to go figure out what's going on with him. I was not reading She-Hulk. I did not know that Constrictor became like a businessman in Chicago now, and that's what he was doing. Because there was a note here that it said, find out how he came into all this money in She-Hulk #9.
Okay.
So Rogue is on this bus to Chicago. She runs this kid, has a really cute moment with the kid. The kid asks her, like, "Why is your hair so funny?" And he's like, because she's like, "So it can match my face." And she makes like a silly face with the kid, kind of showing that she's, good with kids. And
She has them now. She got like 4, don't she?
I don't think those kids ain't hers. They just live with her. Don't do that.
I've definitely
She's
seen
with the kids.
some panels
with the kids, but
of that
not
little blonde
hers.
girl calling her mama. I don't know.
That little blonde girl got a mama.
It's Rogue.
No. Anyway, Rogue meets up with the Constrictor, and he's again like he's a businessman now. So he's like, "What do you want from me?" She breaks her way up, which are in this really cool scene, still being able to use her absorption abilities. He does not know that she doesn't have that she lost her super strength and invulnerability. So she's trying to make it look like, that she didn't lose her powers while she's fighting him. Constrictor is like, if you want to do this the hard way, we can. He pulls out his old suit. He's got adamantium like tendrils that he uses. He tries to pull them on her. She's like, "If I still have my powers, I would like handle this, but I don't. But I got to make it look like I still can get this done." So she does this move that she says she learned from Captain America, breaks his leg, and he's like, "What? You just broke my leg? Like, what are you doing?" She's like, "I need this information from you. Just tell me. I'm just going to take it the way I know how." She absorbs him. Then she finds out that not necessarily that it was her, but like Sabretooth is having an issue with Mystique, and he's like, "I'm on my own mission here. I'm not even worried about whatever you got going on." Slaps her across her face. He's like, "You worry about your own heist." Rogue is like, "I don't know who you think this was. That's not how we get down. Leave my mama alone." She comes
Slapped her. It's crazy.
Yeah, smacked her across the face. Mind you, at this point, this is after they tried to assassinate Senator Kelly? Because there's a editor's note there, and I'm pretty sure she had already had his kid at that point.
Like, but that sounds exactly like something Sabretooth would do. Very classic. Very
exactly. Very, very nasty. She goes to absorb his powers, completely drains him. And while she has his abilities, she goes and fights Constrictor. Now, while she has Constrictor, she's still like changing his changing her form because she still has Mystique's abilities.
Yeah.
And after she runs out of his office, tries to get away because she has his information in her head, but again, no powers. He calls security. There's a whole bunch of security guards out there waiting for her with guns. She has no idea how she's going to get around these people because she doesn't have her own abilities. So that's where the issue ends. I am very interested to see what we're going to do with Rogue's powers in this. If we are going to basically get I think we're going to get a
just absorption.
Not just not a factory reset, but like a new standard for her where she may even get the invulnerability and super strength and flight and stuff back, but it'll probably like have an editor's note to it of like the levels of it, or this is what she can do. I feel like we're going to get a very definitive of these are Rogue's abilities now. Like, what are Rogue's powers?
What are you hoping they end up as?
Just leave her to have the super strength and flight and invulnerability. I have.
You did say that before.
I have toned it down as far as her being as strong and invulnerable as Wonder Man. But I'm fine with her, I think she should always be as strong as Carol.
Okay. I don't know how I feel about, I get it. Tank Rogue is what we grew up on. That's what everybody knows. But I do still kind of just think there's a lot of potential in just letting her power be absorption and doing other stuff with that. Maybe even some type of recall. I feel like, I know they've done the recall before, but I feel like you should be able to or you can change it. Memory type situation, I've absorbed Mystique this one time, but I haven't necessarily used her her transformation ability in a few months, so it's not as strong as it could be, or the shape shifting isn't as solid as it would be normally, or she does Cyclops eyeblasts, I haven't touched Cyclops in a year, so now when I shoot his beam, it's either really small or she just can't do it anymore because she's lost that recall ability, so she has to touch him again. Just little things like that. I just think there are just other things you could do or ways that you could change her ability so you don't always just have to rely on when she eventually loses Wonder Man or Carol's powers, or now you have to have her go and absorb some other random person so she can revert back to a flying tank. It should be just easier, in my opinion.
Yeah. I would hope that they would be able to just do both. I feel like there should be a happy medium. I don't think it should be an either or situation for her. I feel like that might be what we're getting to towards the end of this. Mm-hmm. I feel like she's so known to be a flying tank that I don't think they'll ever really get rid of those abilities, but I do think that they'll start to just have her use her absorption abilities some more. I think she may have been using them more in the Uncanny series.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess that's just what the 90s have given us, so we just got to take it.
Yeah. 4 out of 5 for both issues. Really enjoyed it. This has really been a solid Rogue solo series. Again, her villain history coming back to her present is always something that can be a great ongoing thing for her. She's unfortunately always going to have to reckon with the nasty things she did while she was a villain. So
that is very true. The villains, you do something bad, it's always going to come back.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just that's good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad it's a decent thing for Rogue. I too am curious to see what ends up with her powers, just because, again, I feel like it's one of those things that the writers are constantly messing with. I really am curious to see if this does something different, if it takes, and if it sticks. Will this be the thing that satisfies people to be okay, this actually sounds great. You don't need to do this anymore. But before I talk about Psylocke Ninja 3, I did want to say I want to close the loop. Superboy did die.
Oh,
Okay.
that's what I love.
And 1 year later, and Robin was trying to clone him again. And that's why him and like Cassie was kind of beefing a little bit because they also had kissed. She's a messy girl. What's really interesting to me about reading this or like going back to look at this issue came out April 5th, 2006. It's been 20 years.
20 years.
Ain't that crazy?
And look at Superboy, still dead. Basically.
Superboy's still dead. Cassie's still Wonder Girl. Tim is still Robin. Like Cassie has actually gotten younger. And I think everyone
around the skirts of headphones.
All three of them actually got younger and are just back and still in the same spot. Bart was the Flash, though. He made it. Hey, how you gonna do? Okay, now my book of the week, Psylocke Ninja number 3. Another excellent addition to the series. Now, the Betsy's body swap story obviously was like very controversial thing. It lasted for 30 something years before they were able to revert it. Like many writers have talked about how they would have handled it if they were able to write her again, just in terms of like really going with her being a white woman in an Asian woman's body and like how people treat her differently, how people look at her and talk to her differently, and just like what that does to her psyche. But like, again, these are things that writers have always talked about and no one's ever really done it. They've always said like some surface level stuff to me, you know, she'd be like, oh, my life was ruined by these people, or like, you know, I'm going crazy. Like I don't recognize myself when I look in the mirror or something. Psylocke Ninja 3, actually this entire miniseries in general has been so additive to the character in a positive way. And I think that to the point of these flashback and nostalgia minis, if you are going to do something like this, it should be done this way, where there's adding something to the characters that retroactively give the stories that they have like a deeper and bigger meaning. And then you can now pull in the present from these things that have happened and like create a brand new story and create a brand new world. And issue 3, I think, really helps bring the first 2 together, which were a little bit more action-packed. You were kind of dealing with the sadness of Betsy being kidnapped by the Hand and like being brainwashed and like trying to break free and then being brainwashed, of course, fighting Elektra, which was a huge moment. Here in this issue, we've gotten to the point in the Acts of Vengeance story where she's been freed. Wolverine and Jubilee were seeing her in Madripoor, and then like with that they fought the Hand. Now they are just chilling in a house somewhere. She like wakes up from this nightmare where Elektra like saw her and is like, I will find you. And well, Elektra's Greek, isn't she?
Yes, she's Greek.
What? I don't know how to do a Greek accent. What do Greek people sound like?
Don't.
I don't know. I'll figure that out. I'll ask Siri. But like she's telling him, you know, what happened. And so he's like, you know, it's all good. I'm going to get you back to the X-Men. She's like, actually, no, it's been a lot going on. Like my face is completely different. Like, I don't want to go back. Let me stay with you for just a few days. He's like, okay, that's
kind of heal. She just had surgery.
Big time.
This is a new body.
Like, new body. And so, you know, Wolverine's like, okay, that's fine. He's like, but I do got to go do something like for a few days because it's Wolverine. Of course he does. So he's like, I'm going to be gone. It's just going to be you and Jubilee. Jubilee's not having it. Remember, this is during the period where Jubilee really did not like Betsy. It was like, I don't trust her.
Man, she's presumed with kind of transphobic things.
She always had like a really nasty name for her. Like, and Betsy was always being nice to her. Even in the issue when Wolverine leaves, Betsy's like, all right, you want to go to the store and like go to the mall, do some shopping? Jubilee's like, no, not with you. It was just like, it was like, okay, like, wow, okay. But, you know, Betsy recognizes that she's like, obviously, there's the thing that she was just this Asian, she's just this hand ninja, and her face is completely different from the last time Jubilee saw her, which actually you think Jubilee would be a little bit nicer because remember, they were rescuing her from that mob in the mall. Betsy was literally the one who pulled her from like the things that were about to cut her in half. And now here you want to be nasty? That's why you got to watch them.
I've always said Jubilee was a little nasty.
Very. But while Betsy's out in the mall, she puts on a good dress. She's like, I'm free of the hand. I'm feeling myself. I'm back in my body. I'm happy. I'm going to go shopping. She's like trying on some earrings and stuff. And she's talking about things. And when she's trying on the earrings, she like looks in the mirror. And when she looks in the mirror, it's obviously not her face. And then like there's narration about how being in this moment, she was so excited to be free. And like she hadn't really taken time to consider how she looks and how other people see her. She starts to get really overwhelmed. She's like, now I realize like my body isn't my own. The hands feel too big. The legs are way too long. Like I'm like, this isn't my flesh. Like everything's awkward. She like runs out. She's getting overwhelmed. When she runs out, she runs into this guy who thinks she's a prostitute. And she's like, like, exactly. Like, oh, now I'm this like beautiful Asian woman dressed sexily in this like foreign country, like by myself. I obviously have to be a prostitute. She's like, well, he said this to the white girl, Betsy Braddock, who like had the proper upbringing and stuff. So she reads his mind. She finds out that he's like cheating on his wife. He's been using her money. She's like, what if I call her right now? He runs off scared. She's like, go tell her everything you did. He runs off like, I'm sorry. She's like, cool. Then she was like, she gets back. Jubilee was following her. Now, what's been happening is Matsao is dealing with the fallout from losing both Psylocke and Elektra. The hand basically is looking at him like, you kind of nothing. You can't do nothing right. But he's like, we got to get them back. We found Elektra might be at this place. We also know that Psylocke might be in this place. We could do a 2-for-1. Masao's kind of like, well, the body that the lady's in is somebody that I care for. So if you guys could try and handle it with care, the Snake Root clan, who's like taking on the job, they're like, no, we got a job. She'll die. It was like, we really don't care about anything you feeling, anything, what's going on. They're like, our mission is a body. Like, we'll bring back a body, period. And he's like, okay. When Betsy gets back to the thing, she realizes that Jubilee is gone. She does a little quick mind scan. She starts to like kind of get a sense of all this thing that's been happening. She realizes like other people came into the room looking for Jubilee, but like, or looking for someone in particular, but she realizes like they weren't the ones who took Jubilee. Jubilee obviously left on her own, but they're looking for something. She starts casting her psi web a little bit farther. She starts getting overwhelmed because again, she's like in this body. She's like, wait. And because of her sharing the ultimate intimacy with Elektra, last issue when she freed her, she's like, she's getting all these wisps of like memories and feelings that aren't really hers. And she starts getting like, this is uncomfortable again. And she's like, I smell a rose. And a tear falls down from her eye. And then like, she turns around and she's like, Elektra. And Elektra is like swooping down off the roof at her with her psi in her hand. And she's like, you messed up my training and my mission. You made me kill my friend. I'm about to kill you. And then that's where the issue ends. And it says like next issue is round 2 and 3 and 4. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. The girls are about, they're about,
the girls are fighting.
Really just, again, like a really good issue. Like as someone who has been a Betsy fan for a very long time, what Seeley is doing and saying in this story with Betsy, like in terms of dealing with the body dysphoria, in terms of dealing with like the new microaggressions that she's facing, in terms of dealing with just the entire psychosis of it all, and like how it really is a messed up situation. And while she's doing all of this, she still knows, or dealing with all this, she still knows that Elektra is hot on her tail. Like, so it's like, I can't even really probably deal with this because I got this crazy lady who's looking for me, who's coming to kill me. And then on top of that, I still got the people who I left, who now see me as a renegade agent. They're also coming to try and kill me. It's a lot going on.
Everybody's trying to kill the dog.
And I look in the mirror and it's not even my face.
That's what I was kind of giggling at earlier. Like, could you imagine like waking up in just a whole new body? Like, and being like, oh my God, like what?
like, and then not even like just being in a whole new body, but like being in a whole new body and then being brainwashed. And so then like being brainwashed in this body, getting free of that and being like, oh, okay, like I'm back. And then looking over and seeing like, actually, no, I'm not.
I'm a completely different person.
And so it's just like really good stuff. It's like, again, it feels very much additive to the character, and like it helps to form, or I'd rather say fully form, a lot of the stories that she has had. Like I said, a lot of writers have kind of like tiptoed around the body stuff. They have been very surface level about it. This is one that I feel like really delves into it, that has Betsy herself actually expressing her feelings. I'll never forget, there was one of those strike files from the 90s. Do you remember those?
Yes.
They put them in the books. Betsy,
I love those, like,
the dossiers and all of that. Like the Vatican ages. But strikes about Betsy, and it specifically was talking about the change and like everything she's gone through. And it's like, nobody really knows how she feels about it, but also nobody's bothered to ask her. It's like, why would
we'll never know?
And like that has stuck with me like for so many years, because it really was like this lady just came back in a whole new body. And I do remember during Extinction Agenda, they were like, "Are we sure that's Psylocke?" And they were like, "Well, Wolverine said it is, so we'll just take his word for it." And that was kind of it. But after that, it was really just like, oh, we're just going to rock with this. So like, again, it is nice to really get like some insight into her. And even Jubilee, like talking about it, like openly, I feel like it wasn't something that a lot of characters would ever say. Like, just be like, you know, girl, your face isn't even your own. Why should I trust you? Jubilee like says that in the book. She's like,
I mean,
who are you?
She kind of got a fair point.
No, she doesn't. But the point is, it's a good book. It's a really good issue. I'm really excited for issue 4 to see where it goes. Again, like just to see how Betsy and Elektra are going to continue to fight and then eventually come together. I'm pretty sure those guys from the Snake Root clan and the Hand have gotten to Jubilee, so they have to go and free her and like do some fight together. I think the next issue also shows a cover of Elektra wearing her white suit.
Oh, her resurrection suit. Okay.
So, you know, I think like and that's another thing, like Psylocke Ninja, yes, it is a Betsy story, but it's still tying in all these other like storylines, like Elektra,
everything in the ninja,
like the Hand, the ninja. And it's like, because you would think about it with these other characters too. I'm pretty sure Elektra fans were wondering like, well, when she got free, what was she doing? Now you know.
And I'm also always curious. I've always been curious if they ever thought how Elektra would combat Betsy's like telepathic powers. I know that Elektra also has some like pseudo-psi stuff, like, you know, genjutsu stuff going on with her. But like, how does that equate to someone with telepathy? I've only ever seen her do that on like, you know, other ninjas.
Yeah. So and even like the first issue, the second issue, when they did fight, like her stuff did affect Betsy a little bit. That's what kind of broke her free of that brainwashing on the first time, like after she side-knifed her, and he was like, oh, Elektra has her own form of like melding something, that they called it like that. So we'll get to see a little bit more. I'm really excited for it again. And again, like I say this as somebody who, growing up, I was never really on the whole Elektra Psylocke fight club thing. Like I was like, I don't really need that, but like I'm tuned in.
Getting it.
It's hot. I get it. You know? I get it.
It happens.
So, a really solid, like 4 out of 5. The art continues to be great. The colors are really good. And it's like funny because I don't necessarily think the art would be to my style or to my taste. But I'm just skimming it really fast. But yeah, no, it's I love it. It looks good. It's very expressive. Like
arts,
it's very expressive. The action is good. I think that there's a lot of nice callbacks to like older storylines, like the old Uncanny issues, like via Betsy's switch, and even before, like there's this smile that Mark Silverstreet always used to draw her with, and like I feel like the art, and even Jim Lee after she switched, like there was like a kind of like sinister smile they used to give her. I feel like the artist has been trying to emulate that a lot. Some of the looks that she gives feel reminiscent of like what her style was to what she was wearing when we first saw Betsy.
That ponytail again.
She did have the ponytail. Okay. For a few panels. It was mostly while she was sleeping. She let her hair down. She had on a little black dress. You know, Betsy loves a hooker dress. And that is why that man thought she was a prostitute. And it's just the truth. Like when you go back and you look at a lot of like Bessie's clothes and like her panel, like this thing she's wearing. You remember during the new X-Men after the kids blew up on that bus and she showed up to the funeral in a club dress? Yes. Like that's how she dresses. And it's like, okay, I get it.
That girl.
And like, and I think that's also like kind of make me like really excited for the Elektra fight next issue, because it's like, oh, she got on her hooker dress. She won't have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Love and practicality.
I wonder if she got that suit underneath it. Way to rip it off. You real sure.
That would actually be hilarious and terrible, but I would actually support it because you always got to be ready. You imagine before you on the run, like you just don't know what's going to happen. I actually would completely understand it.
Rip it off, put your uniform on.
All right. But yeah, those were our books of the week. Let's go ahead, take a break, and then we'll come on back. Have you ever seen that clip of like it's a black guy like at like a counter ordering something, and there's this white man like standing behind him, looking him up and down, like, yeah, I want him. Somebody just quote retweeted it, and they're like, nobody. Yes,
that's my friend.
Is it the black man or the white man?
Yeah. And I mean, he is fine. Lawrence is fine.
But somebody just quote tweeted. They was like, "This is Ricardo TC."
Wow,
terrible. Well,
not wrong.
When we all saw them Frank Ocean post.
Hello. I mean, and whatever. Welcome back, y'all, to the watch section of the show. And I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to have some changes around this week. I didn't really get to the Daredevil episode, and we kind of want to give it another episode. So, other than this, the first one, we know.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if y'all rewatched the previous season before you watched the next one, but like the last season,
Chop,
I thought she was just okay. Yeah, like it wasn't getting all of that.
I said when they went to Disney Plus, I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea. But then I saw that trailer and I was like, maybe they actually got me. And then I watched that season and I was like, I knew this wasn't a good idea. So, well, you'll see when you.
We'll see.
When you watch and we talk about them,
we'll definitely do episodes 1 and 2 next week and discuss those two together. And we're also going to do Invincible this week, but we're going to give some more time to catch up on some of those episodes. Now, I do know that Invincible episode 4 that came out this past week was an episode that did not happen in the comics. It was their like an original episode. Oh. And
that explains.
I know people have some thoughts, and I definitely want to fully digest it before I really say my own thoughts there. So we're definitely going to push that back for next week. So we'll do 4 and 5 next week.
Okay, so with that though, I didn't watch Invincible last week. I did watch the episode this week, but I also caught up and went back, obviously, to watch episodes 1 and 3. And I have some thoughts, just some really quick snippets that I needed to get back to you.
Okay.
1, Bulletproof. Chop. I don't know what you were talking about when you're like, oh, he does stuff this episode, or he's always doing stuff.
It's like flying and punches and stuff.
Oh my God.
With the Sequits.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. I like really went into those first 3 episodes thinking like he's about to turn it. Like I'm about to see why they call it.
I didn't say he had an episode dedicated to
just like just like a moment. But like it was so funny to me. He was flying and I was like, oh my God, he really can fly. So he was flying. And then he would like punch one person and then just get blasted off the screen. And I was like, hold on, I thought you were bulletproof. What's going on? We don't got no type of resistance or endurance, but whatever. He served his purpose. Invincible killed that man. What was my second point? Adam Eve, another Chop. Sorry, I just don't see it for her. And I don't think I ever will, which is like so crazy to me because a girl in a pink costume with like these
pink
like
hours.
What? chop for me. Her whole little storyline with like the powers and the goo and being pregnant and just like her attitude. I think I just don't like her. I mean, I don't like a lot of people in the show, but I really just don't like her personality in particular. And I think about it's mostly because of like her issues with her dad. And I just really do not enjoy like how she handles any of that. Like, I know you had talked about it, but like when Mark talked to her dad, he came in the room and he was like, "Oh, your dad's right." She's like, "My dad's never right." Your dad is never right, but you moved back in the house with him. It's talking about, I'm going to live under your...
She got a choice. Well, I mean, she has other choices, but I mean...
Oh, yeah. But a lot of people on this show tend to make bad decisions.
Yes. They're young.
Cecil? Cecil? Still king. Love how observant he is. Love how...
Okay, wait. How did you feel, though, about the losing your powers because of pregnancy thing? It's like they're doing 2 tropes in one.
Yeah. So I will say this. I am not a hater of like pregnancy in comics or like superheroes. I obviously think that like people have kids. It's a natural part of life. And I do kind of enjoy the drama that comes around a pregnancy in terms of like, is your baby also going to come out with powers? How are your body and powers affecting the baby now? Like, does your baby start doing things in the womb? I think about like Charmed when Piper got pregnant and her baby made her invulnerable and was like protecting her from so much stuff. So I'm not against it. I do think that thing of her being pregnant and it affecting her powers is also interesting because that's just like not something that we see very often. I think it could also really create an interesting storyline of like, is this going to happen every time I have kids? Like, are my kids taking my powers? Do I want to keep having kids? Like, do I want to have this baby? As it seems like that's something that she might be struggling. Well, she is struggling with, you know, so I think there's a lot of things right there. I don't mind that. It's fine. But
yeah,
I just think, in particularly for this to happen to Eve, I think it's a little daunting because I do feel as though, again, she is a character that is constantly being shown to like, she's supposed to have this power. She moves atoms and molecules and she does these great things and blah, blah, blah. And then she gets nerfed terribly in some type of way, or she just like doesn't do anything. So I think that is also like just a deeper issue with that character.
I think that comes with the like psychic characters, the psychic and the magic characters. That kind of comes with.
I never say that.
Oh man, they say they could do everything.
It's only
they don't.
I don't know. And then
common thing with them.
I had one other. Oh, the Guardians of the Globe. Yes,
it ain't but like 3 of them left.
It is like the worst superhero team I have ever seen. And like, I get it. The big heavy hitters died in the first episode of the first season. Like, this is kind of like the B team or whichever people. We do have a new leader every year for some reason, it seems like. It's like,
yeah, that's because Viltrum might keep killing them.
Well,
remember they had the last season, they had all the Invincibles come from the other universe and like kill everybody.
Yeah. Well, no, I just mean in terms of like how it's just like a new person. Like, when
you mean like a new leader, like it's like, oh, like, kind of like Avengers, where they changed like who the chairperson is.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, where'd you come from, guy? Like, but despite all of that, I do think enough of the members have been there long enough where I just feel like, and I don't know, this could just be a writing thing with the Guardians. They don't feel like an effective team in terms of like, even when they're on the field, there's no real sense of like formation, or it's like everyone's just punching things randomly. And it's just, and then like we got to go hide. And then like one person, we have to wait for Invincible to come in, or the robot suddenly decides like, oh, this is how this actually works. And so like, I would love if they were to continue to be a part of this series, like to just see a little bit more growth in them. Like, again, I do understand a lot of them keep dying. The leaders keep but like, I feel like there's enough of them.
Invincible didn't join the team. He's very adamant about I'm not.
There's enough of them where there can still be some type of consistency where we can just get like slightly better, especially when it comes to like Titan and Shapesmith. And also, what happened to the Queen? Duplicate. No, she retired with that man.
Uh-huh.
She might need to come back. Does she come back in the comics?
I don't think I got that far. Remember I told you I had like the ex that was buying me something. We broke up. So
but yeah, those were just my quick little things. I just had to like come back. I had to make sure I circle back. I did also watch episode 4 though, but again, we'll talk about that next week. I mean, I have some thoughts.
Okay. Well, so far I appreciate your thoughts. I've been enjoying Invincible, but I know people have been having their thoughts. I wonder what they're going to do with Bulletproof. He has a controversial comic book storyline.
He's the Black Invincible, isn't he?
Well, you've seen the Black Invincible in the suit.
Yeah. I've been seeing that go around a lot lately, like people talking about that. Like that is also one of the things where I had to
he's a twin.
I was like, oh.
Or I should say was a twin.
Okay, well, we'll get there when we get there. Maybe, so this means Black, I was about to call him Blackproof. Bulletproof will be doing a little bit more.
Yeah, but I am interested to see how they will change some things there.
You think they will?
Some people don't. I don't know. Some people don't like cheating. They don't want to see it. Some people would like to see the conflict of what that brings. So who knows? So we'll see. I won't spoil who did the cheating, but no, Bulletproof is a part of it. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But that brings us to the end of the show. Please make sure you guys rate and subscribe us wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Another Relaunch. You can watch us in the show. You can watch us on YouTube at Another Relaunch TV. You can follow me on most social media platforms except Twitter at UncannyLZ. Keenan, where can they find you?
You know you can find me at Keenan Lance with an underscore at the end. You should just make like an Uncanny LZ too. An astonishing LZ.
That would kind of be funny if I changed it up to a different name.
Well, there you go. He's thinking it, you guys. Send him ideas, which adjective he should use. Think of all the good ones. Mighty, well, he was already uncanny. Mighty, new, astonishing, superior, incredible. I can't think of any other ones.
Superior is one.
I think I said superior.
Did you? They've got a lot of them.
Astonishing, superior, incredible, mighty, new. Those are like my big 5, I guess. Extraordinary.
Oh. Those books were never good.
Okay, we're going. We'll see you guys next week.
We'll see you next week. Bye.